What is going on, guys? Welcome to another ICC Cricket World Cup 2019 video as a lead up to the actual tournament starting on the 30th. I'm your host, TMC Tam1 to the side, Tan Tiger 01, the Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow me on Twitter, Tan Tiger 01, Twitch at MCTam1, follow me on Instagram as well, and hit that bell notification button. Today I'm going to be covering the Australian cricket team as it is available right now, like as it is shown right now on ESPN Cricinfo, and basically give you my thoughts on this team as it appears right now. Okay, so this Australian cricket team, as it stands right now on ESPN Cricinfo, wow, he's 32 years old. The captain is Aaron Finch. Huh. Okay, I guess Steve Smith just came back from the Exodus, so I guess he couldn't be captain. But if I'm not mistaken, under Aaron Finch or under this regime, Australia just beat Pakistan, and more importantly, so beat India in an ODI series in India, which is something very important to note because I don't think Australia has done that of late. In fact, almost no team has beaten India in an ODI series in India of late. But Australia, being able to do that in recent times, given the strength of this Indian side, this sort of tells you that, you know what, don't even have the slightest thought in your mind to write off Australia as one of the contenders of the championship or a potential six-time world champion of Australia. Okay. Next we have Jason Jason Barendorf. I'm not too familiar with him. I'm sorry. I can't. Yeah, he's a as expected. He's a right arm fast medium bowler. But I'm sorry. I don't have too much experience of him. I did not watch that series. I just saw the score. I just kept up with the news. I didn't even watch the scorecards. But yeah, as for Aaron Finch, we all know how destructive he can be no matter where he bats, like, a top order, opening the batsman, or maybe like, coming down number three or whatnot. We all know how destructive he can be, especially in a tournament that is suited for batting. You know how destructive he can be. I don't expect him to bowl, though. Okay, Alex Carey, the wicket keeper. Um, I'm pretty sure he's a bit of a new addition, relatively new. He's 27 years old, so I don't think he's that new. Um, once again, I might have seen glimpses of Alex Carey, but here's the thing with Australia: almost everyone can actually, steal the game away from you. So Alex Carey, I'm not sure if he's as established as a David Warner or an Aaron Finch or whatnot, but I wouldn't write him out. I wouldn't take him lightly either. So that's for Alex Carey. Uh, Nathan, Nathan, Okay, okay. I'm pretty sure the American pronunciation will be Nathan Coulter-Nile, but I've seen it pronounced Nathan Coulter-Nile. Okay. He's the fast bowler, and Nathan Coulter-Nile. Um. As far as I know, and my impressions of him, he's okay. In home conditions, he can be deadly, but I guess he's okay. They might have preferred a Josh Hazelwood, but maybe he's out of form or whatnot. But uh, I don't know if Nathan Coulter has actually improved over the past 2 or 3 years, or like 1 or 2 years. Then why not? You could expect him to open the bowling as well. And he's been around for a while. He's like 31 years old, so he's been around for a while. It'll be how interesting to see, however, how this Australian side actually manages and adjust to such batting friendly conditions. Okay. Pat Cummins, another person. Wow, I had no idea Pat Cummins was that young. He's like 25 years old. Another fast bowler. Um, okay, this one I would say perhaps has a bit more venom in his bowling. Pat Cummins, but yeah, if they can generate the including Coulter, if Coulter and Pat Cummins and the other fast bowlers can generate variable bounce and whatnot, I am looking forward to what they can do. Really, I'm really looking forward to what they can do because these are not medium pace bowlers. These are fast bowlers. So their variation in pace is going to be much more noticeable, significant, and confusing to the batsman. So they have a bit more variation in terms of their weaponry they can use to get a batsman out. Usman Khawaja, I'm not too sure about his inclusion in the ODI side though. A left-handed batsman. In fact, this is a tournament for the stroke makers. I don't necessarily consider Usman Khawaja as a stroke maker. I con I more consider him as a compiler, like more of a test specialist. Um, but let's see. Like he can be a replace. He can be a replace. I wouldn't play him in the I wouldn't open with him in the playing 11, especially given that David Warner is coming back. Um, Speaking of David Warner, is he on this list? Okay, Nathan Lyon. This is one person who's potentially going to be not as effective. Yeah, he's actually a good bowler. He's actually a pretty good off-spin bowler, and Australia have not had that much success with off-spin bowlers. Like in their history, or at least as far as I know. But Nathan Lyon, I'm wondering how effective is he going to be as a frontline bowler in this tournament. In fact, even Nathan Lyon, I would consider him much more of a test specialist than an ODI one. And like I said, in these batting paradises and bowling graveyards, where you have little to no grip of the pitch until maybe let's say the last 10, 12 overs of the entire game. If Australia is bowling first, I don't see Nathan Lyon being almost effective at all. In fact, I would say Nathan Lyon is gonna get like taken to the cleaners. Like the batsman might view Nathan Lyon as a weak link. Nathan Lyon can take advantage of that and vary his flight. In fact, that's one thing if I'm not mistaken, he's been doing a bit, pretty well, like getting the drift and flight. So, so that is yet to be seen. But then again, this is the white ball, so white balls are much more batting friendly. Okay, Sean Marsh. 35 years old. Wow. Wow, man, time flies by fast. I mean, it seems like just 2 days ago he just showed up. Um, okay, I can expect Sean Marsh to actually open instead of Usman Khawaja, and Sean Marsh is a good batsman. Maybe not as destructive as David Warner, but and besides he's like in about 100 days or so he's a bit Yeah, in less than 100 days he's going to be 36. Look, in less than 100 days he's going to be 36 years old. So he's towards the very end of his career. But not like he doesn't have anything left in him. But I would say Sean Marsh is ahead of Usman Khawaja in terms of getting a place in this side to bat as a top order batsman. Obviously, these are very good batsmen, so um, the competition to actually get into the playing 11 is actually pretty stiff. Okay, Glenn Maxwell. This is one of the more impact players. Wait, impact players. If the Australian top order cannot stand for too long, and the middle order is given the responsibility of carrying their innings. And also coming in towards the end of the innings, and also being an all-rounder. In fact, there was an article up by Glenn Maxwell said that he wants to finish with the bat and he wants to have seize control of the opposition with the ball. And given his T20 experience and given his worldwide experience, uh, Glenn Maxwell will be one of those, perhaps those guys in the death overs, who can make or break a game. So this is one of their very impactful players. Not to say the other players are not impactful, but this is one who's basically made it clear that they're on a mission to make an impact. Okay, Kane Richardson. I'm sorry, I can't tell much about him because like apparently the right arm fast bowler. Think you have enough of those. You might see him bowl. 28 years old. Hold up, scrawny looking dude. Okay. Okay. Steve Smith, another one of those impact players. In fact, wow, he's not even 30 years old and he got into all this trouble. Anyways, here's the thing with Steve Smith. I believe this will be his redemption tournament. This will be his redemption tournament because he's just coming back from a lot of controversy with the sandpaper and the ball tampering and whatnot. This will be his redemption tournament. If Australia has to win, like I'm pretty sure one of the backs on which Australia's victory will be planted on, one of the legs on pillars of Australian victory to the world title, uh, and the apparently $10 million or whatnot will be planted on is Steven Smith. So this is another person who's very talented and more importantly, very talented and coming back with a point to prove. A very big point to prove, coming back to redeem himself. So very dangerous. Okay, Mitchell Stark. Okay, one of the and he's not also he has one more World Cup after this. He's 29 years old. Mitchell Stark, another one of those bowlers, and this was the one who actually, if you remember, in the 2015 World Cup, he actually got you the first breakthrough. So people like Steven Smith, Mitchell Stark, David Warner, Glenn Maxwell. In fact, this is he will be most likely the opening bowler for thing. One of the two opening bowlers, because you bowl from two ends. So one of the two opening bowlers for Australia. If like no matter what they do, if they bowl or they bat first, most likely it's gonna one of those two is gonna be Mitchell Stark because they're looking to get that early wicket. And given how Mitchell Stark likes to pitch the ball up, and get swing and dip and whatnot with pace, he can be one of those rarities where he's an effective fast bowler in these conditions. As a fast bowler, it's not like you. It's not that you can't be effective at all. I mean, Chris Wokes, if I'm not mistaken, just took 5 wickets the other day against Pakistan. So yes, you can be effective, but you have to be smart about it. And Australian cricket has enough experience and enough knowledge in in its like over 100 years uh, knowledge of world cricket, or 100 years lived experience of world cricket, with their all their players and all their analysts and whatnot. Okay. 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 Next we get Marcus Stoinis, or Stoinis. I'm sorry I can't tell you about this player because I don't know about him. Because once I saw Marcus, I'm like, wait, Marcus North? Marcus North is back? I'm like, nah, not Marcus North. Okay. David Warner, another player coming back with a point to prove. In fact, I will not be surprised if either David Warner or Steven Smith end up with the the title of most runs scored in this entire tournament. And given how destructive David Warner can be, he also has another World Cup in him, I believe, if he keeps going well, 32 years old. Given, like, how much T20 cricket he has played, and given how knowledgeable he is of almost each and every bowler, almost each and every recognized and reputed bowler, and the bowling tactics and the fielding tactics, very good contender of not only being on the side that wins the World Cup, but also being one of the highest run scorers in this tournament. Okay, and okay, Adam Zampa. Wow, I didn't know he's still around. Adam Zampa, the leg spinner. Okay, I would actually think Adam Zampa would be more effective than a Nathan Lyon, because here's the thing with Adam Zampa: being a leg spinner, you can spin the ball, you know, you know, in both ways and all the angles in between. So you have more options, and also you can get the ball a bit of dip. The problem with leg spinners is that they tend to usually go for a lot of runs. In fact, here's an indication of how, like, ineffective leg spinners can be, not will be, can be in these conditions. In the match that just ended, like maybe 10 hours or 8 9 hours ago, between Ireland and Afghanistan, long behold, I was shocked. And yes, this is my, like, my apologies. I underestimated these players. Gulbuddin Naib took 6 wickets. Rashid Khan took 0 wickets. And Afghanistan won that match by, I believe, over 100, like close to or over 120 runs, with Rashid Khan taking 0 wickets. So there's what I would say is a bit of a gamble. Adam Zampa is not as experienced as Nathan Lyon, but given that how leg spinners can be tricky at times, but also can be very expensive at times, Adam Zampa at times, if the gamble pays off, can actually be perhaps more effective than Nathan Lyon. Okay, then you have Jay Richardson. Okay, he's a withdrawn player, so uh, in fact, he's the only one named as a withdrawn player. Okay, so that is your Australia 11. Okay, Australia. Let me tell you this: with their fast bowling and their batting alone, and, like, their aggression they bring, very, very strong contenders of winning the World Cup. One of three very strong contenders of winning the World Cup, especially in these conditions. Their batting has a lot of firepower, and two of their batsmen are coming back with a vengeance and coming back with a very strong point to prove, with a mission of redemption, and with the hopes of the cricketing world forgiving their mistakes and whatnot, especially Australia. What better way? What better way than to lead your side or to be part of a team that wins a World Cup? Steven Smith and David Warner. Your pace attack is good. You have Nathan Coulter. You have Mitchell Stark. You have the all-round abilities of Glenn Maxwell. So your top order, you have Aaron Finch. You have David Warner. Your middle order, you have Steven Smith and whatnot. Glenn Maxwell can also come up the order as well. Okay, Sean Marsh can bat number three or whatnot as well. So overall, their only weak point is their spin department. Their only weak point. It's so it's sort of like England, but I would say the Australian spinners are a bit more experienced and a bit better equipped than the English spinners. But other than that, I would say this is one of your very strong contenders for not only making the semifinals. They are one of these three are going to make the semifinals. You can almost guarantee that. But these are one of the three that have a very strong chance of winning the World Cup, of lifting that, and becoming a six-time world champion. And it's a shame, really. Don't let that ICC ranking fool you that Australia placed number fifth. Don't let that fool you. Please don't let that fool you. Because Australia have done something more than any other team. Any other team in the history of cricket. That is win ODI World Championships. Australia have not only won five of them, but have won three in a row: 99, 2003, 2007. So they know what it is. And they know the exact procedure of playing like champions, thinking like champions, and executing like champions. The very high potential of being your new or very high potential of retaining their world championships. Defending champions will most likely defend successfully. Alright, that's about it, guys. Let me know what you think about this squad in the comment section below. How far do you think Australia will go in this tournament? And as always, hit that like and hit that subscribe button, that bell notification button. This is your boy, the Instant Time on the review side, the Bengal Dragon, signing out.